Peter Borker here, and welcome to today's edition of the Transition Guy. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at trends. So why are trends so important? Well, I was having a conversation with a client this week, and we were just having a normal catch-up, talking about business, and he highlighted one of the things. He goes, he's quite fearful at the moment around business, and he says that, well, businesses are so highly geared up that they're not thinking about when the downturn's going to come. So I thought, okay, that's a little bit more of an interesting topic. Let's have a talk about the downturn. So what makes you think that there's a downturn coming? Well, he quite accurately pointed out, and we discussed this on previous episodes, was the fact that we've come out of this sort of great financial crisis, probably early part of 2009, and really every single recession sort of comes between 10 and 15 years. Well, if you take his maths, there's more good years behind us than there are in front of us. So we had the discussion around the fact, well, what does the trend mean for you? Well, Brexit is a very important element of that trend, because currently we trade around the world. What if we don't have no trade agreements? Okay, there's a possibility that we will come out of Brexit and the trade agreements will not be finalised. Or there may be trade agreements in place, but they may not be quite favourable, whatever. But the reality is, these are things that it needs to look at. And my question to you is actually, when you're starting to look at your business, how often do you look at your trends? How trend aware are you? Do you even look at trends? Are you looking that far into the future to see what's happening now and what's going to happen? Yeah, we don't have a crystal ball. And one of the things I said to my client, it's very important to make sure that you're ready for winter. What I mean by winter is winter being the recession. It's so important that we're ready for winter. But again, being ready for winter is crucial as long as it's not at the expense of the summer. Because if you think where we are right now, we're at the height of the market. This is really where we make our harvest. This is where, as businesses, we should really be raking it in. But it's also making sure that we've got the money set aside, so that when a winter does come, we're able to see it through. Now, if you're interested in sort of more about trends, there's a phenomenal tool available from Gazelles on the Scaling Up website, and it's called the SWT, and it's about the strengths, weaknesses and trends. If you have never done this exercise, I highly recommend it. Your strengths and weaknesses, they're going to be based on the business. They're all internal factors that may either be harmful to your business or helpful to your business. Strengths obviously being helpful, weaknesses obviously being harmful. And then you look at the trends. When you're in a scale-up situation, like so many businesses are today, you're not going to be cutting back your team. However, what you're going to be doing is you've got to be prepared that if a recession does come along, you've got to be ready to cut what you need to cut in order to trim back the tree, so that when the market recovers, you're in a strong position to move forward. Now, for a lot of clients, actually recession, for them, the trend in a recession is to scale their business. Because, well, I've got a number of clients that when a recession comes, it's perfect for them. It's like sort of the sale, it's shopping, because they base their business on buying businesses that are distressed. So when they do their biggest scale up during a recession, because that's when the sort of companies are available at the most reasonable rate. In fact, very often companies are available for nothing because they've been so badly structured, they're going bust, you can pick them up for a bargain. So in your business, what are your trends? What do you need to be looking for? What do you need to be preparing for? Now, if anything we discussed today resonates with you and you want to sort of look at it in further detail, head over to borker.com and get in contact. And remember, failing to learn is learning to fail.